Ben, do you have any weird things that you say that are like almost like an inside joke to you that nobody else understands? Anytime I'm like, if somebody gives me a piece of candy, I always say, "In you go, Kermit."
Oh.
So
that wouldn't make any sense to anybody.
Nobody really gets that other than maybe you.
Right. Well, I'll get it.
Right. But
there is one other person out there who might get it.
And maybe he'll listen if I talk to him about this. But the funniest part about that is it's not even from my story. It's from your story. I wasn't even there.
Oh, you weren't?
No. You told me about this. You told me about it, and I thought it was so funny. And now I say it every time I put something in my mouth, like beforehand.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
You should stop doing that.
Well, do you want to tell them why I do that?
I think it's almost better that people just think that you're weird.
Well, they do. It's a weird thing that I say, and nobody really understands why I say it.
So there was this time, and it was me and a couple other guys that we were growing up with. We were, I don't know, it was one of those summer days. Where
for the record, I was not present.
Apparently, Luke wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
We were hanging out, and we were daring each other to do stupid stuff, or throughout the day or whatever. And at some point, we happened along a very small frog, like tadpole that had just grown legs.
It was a cute little thing, from what I hear, because
I
wasn't there.
One of the guys dared one of the other guys to eat it, to swallow it whole. And the other guy, without breaking stride, goes, "In you go, Kermit," and he just throws it in his mouth and swallows it.
No.
Yeah.
Kermit. You know who Kermit is, right?
Kermit the Frog?
Yes.
That's where the joke is,
very
actually.
much
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware.
So,
thank you.
So,
anyway, the funny thing is, for the longest time, I thought that was hilarious.
I laughed and laughed.
And also terrifying.
Right.
Like the fact that he would be so quick to destroy this innocent tadpole frog's life.
And the fact that I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about, like, the bowel obstruction that would follow.
Well, he said he could feel it wiggling in him still.
Welcome.
Fresh out the box. Stop. Look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's
The following podcast.
Eat my short. Not the mama. Not the mama.
Goodbye.
What I think actually happened, I don't think he actually ate the frog.
Really?
I think he did a little magic trick.
He was good at those types of things.
I think frog went in one hand, got palm to the other hand. In you go, Kermit. We were all laughing so hard we didn't see the frog get disposed of on the ground to set free and live its little froggy life.
It hippity hopped away.
And probably had multiple tadpoles of his own.
So there you have it, folks. That is the reason I say, "In you go, Kermit." You go, Kermit.
Have you said that to your kids?
I say it all the time.
What's hilarious is, what if your kids start saying this, right?
Yeah.
It becomes a phrase for them, right?
Right.
And then it just becomes one of those unfounded phrases in the next however many years. It'd be like, I wonder where "In you go, Kermit" came from. You get generations of people saying "In you go, Kermit," and nobody has no idea.
Well, that's my goal.
Nobody has any idea.
So
where
that
it
way
came from.
I can actually put the Google page up that has the definition of, like, the origin story of "In you go, Kermit." In fact, I might do that now just so that it's already out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that people can find the actual story as it's been told.
Wow.
How was that for a cold open, folks?
Love that.
Yeah.
That was a cold open?
I think Luke calls every segment on the podcast.
Now, so
cold
those are the
open.
two things that happen. They're supposed to be short enough that you can put them in before the actual music starts. And it's not necessarily about anything. That's the whole idea of a cold open.
Check.
So I learned about this at podcast school.
Oh my gosh, why is everybody calling me?
That's just what people do. Do you need to talk to this person?
No.
Okay. So sometimes what's really helpful is if you put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
You know, it gave me that prompt a second ago, and I was like, man, no one's going to call me.
Do you know you?
I do.
And then you know that people are going to call you because they call you all the time.
I'm very popular, apparently.
Yeah. No, I think it's just that you're important. I don't think it has to do with popularity.
Would you rather be popular or important?
Neither.
I like that answer.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess both of them push for my pride and ego to pop out. I don't know. Sometimes I would rather just be rich and not have to worry about anybody at all, ever.
But I think that in order to be rich, you would have to be either popular or important.
No, I inherited it all from
Oh.
someone who is popular and important.
So you just get to live in it?
I'm just living it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a great existence.
No.
Not really getting anything out of it.
I see.
Okay.
I think I'd get bored if I was rich.
Yeah. So
Like stupid rich, like some people, you know?
Yes.
I mean, I know that I say that I would probably do all of these things, but in all reality, I'd probably, you know, like some of the biggest movie stars in the world, they can't even leave their house.
Mhm.
Because if they do, they get like trampled by people. So like Brad Pitt trying to go to the grocery store, that would never happen.
well,
ever.
he has a PA to do that.
Well, I realize that, but how boring would that life be?
I don't know. I don't know that I really like grocery shopping.
I feel like just the overwhelming ability.
You're gonna have to get close to that microphone, Ash.
I feel like the overwhelming ability to do whatever, like to get whatever you want, would almost be like cause more anxiety.
Well, I think that's why some of the like top people in some of these professions and industries, like Tom Cruise and stuff. I mean, I think that's why some of them struggle. You know what I mean? Like,
Does Tom Cruise struggle?
I don't know.
I
Well,
just don't want to put that voodoo on him
I mean,
if
he's
it's not
he
a real thing.
Definitely got some weird beliefs.
but he
He's like a
seems
Scientologist.
Well,
so I
a
would say
lot of
he's
actors are
struggling.
Scientologists because of the fact that it's a church that costs money to be a part of.
Right.
So
they
they're
can buy their
able
way
to-
into cleansing their.
Well, it's not even just
Beans or
that.
whatever.
It's that it costs so much money that generally the people that are there with them are other actors and people that don't really care so much
I don't know
about
if
their.
we should be on this tangent or not.
I don't know. I mean, I followed you. I have a list of things I want to talk about.
Okay,
and
well,
we
let's
keep going down yours.
I mean, we haven't talked in a couple
This-
of days.
this
I start
was-
to get a little bit, you know.
This was me texting Ben this morning. Hey, do you have anything you want to talk about on the podcast? This was him with the emoji that shows his hands up in the air. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
And
Except
so I
for
said,
my emoji has dark hair because they don't make an emoji that looks like me.
I said, don't worry, Ben. I've got a list. And he said, okay, good. And then we've talked now about 3 things that
Well, they just
are
keep
not on
they
my
just
list.
keep popping into my head. I can't help it.
Well, I know.
All right.
I know. Are we
Back-
supposed
back
to go
on
back
topic.
to?
Here we
is there
go.
a structure?
Cold open and go.
We've already cold opened twice. Is that your podcast shirt?
No, it just happens to be the one that I wear every time we do this.
It's funny that you say that because at Speak Now we've just initiated a dress code. It's new.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about taking a step up.
And one of the things that it talks about in the dress code is how you can't wear the same podcast shirt 2 podcasts in a row.
Uh-oh.
So you're in violation.
I foresee a write-up in my future.
It's coming.
Well,
There's another cold open, Ash.
So good. There's probably going to be times that you guys will need to say, like, if you're watching on YouTube,
If you're watching on YouTube,
because you guys will referencing or make motions, and people that are listening
do you want
know,
me
but you
to,
might
should we
wanna
both
just
do it a
reference.
couple times into the camera? If you're watching on YouTube,
if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I'm about to do a reference with my hands.
if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I am also about to reference something with my hands.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you'll see that I'm not about to reference something with my hands.
If you're not watching on YouTube, well, you should be watching on YouTube because sometimes we do really funny things with our faces.
You should listen and watch.
Listen and watch. Pull it up on your desktop so that people at work think you aren't really working.
What?
Or that's probably not a good idea.
No, you should focus on work while you're there.
Focus.
And also,
It's
if you're
best-
driving, just listen.
Yeah,
No-
don't
no real
watch it
reason to
drive.
watch
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But if you're sitting at home,
Sure.
I
take
mean,
a listen. Take a watch.
take a watch.
Take take a watch and a listen.
And honestly, if you don't really want to deal with that much of our mugs, there's our short form content. You can do that, and just watch us on Instagram or on TikTok.
Who's the failing podcast for?
For
Everyone.
it's for anyone who's failing,
who feels like they've had a failing kind of day out there.
Listen, some days are just like that.
I know.
Some days you just feel you come home and you feel like you have just.
I've worked whole weeks before where I got home from work and I'm like, what did I accomplish this week?
What got done?
I feel like I was in a have you ever tripped?
Mm-hmm.
And
I have tripped.
you start moving very fast. You know that you're going to hit the ground. Okay, it's coming.
Yeah.
But it is the longest fall to the ground that you can find.
Are you bouncing off?
You're
of things?
you're literally just plummeting.
Uh-huh.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm doing something with my hands. It's as you as you're moving,
Uh-huh.
whoa,
Yeah.
right? And you see the ground coming, but it's still you traveled a good 10, 15 feet to get there.
Are you holding something like your
You're
lunch?
just trying your best to
or a
balance
child?
yourself back up.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And it's not happy. You know that eventually you're going to get there, but you think there's that little piece of you that's like, I'm going to save myself before I hit the ground.
Right.
Sometimes that's your work week.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot where we were going. I was so into the fall.
Falling hurts, by the way.
It does. As you get older,
Oh
you're
my
less
gosh.
likely to do it. Well, until you get way older.
That's
and then
really
you're more likely to do it
Yeah,
again.
well, and it hurts more as you get older.
Yeah.
Like my kids will fall sometimes. I'm like, ooh, and they get up and like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I know. Well,
No problem.
It's
Just bounce
probably
back.
probably got something to do with the fact that you're 200 pounds hitting the ground instead of 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being generous and saying 200 pounds. I do. I'm a little flattered.
You look great.
Thank you. Thanks.
You've definitely been doing something.
I've been trying to eat less.
Yes.
That makes a difference.
Well, you are 38.
Yeah, you should know that because we're
we have
twins
the
and
same
we
birthday.
literally are the same exact age.
I always have trouble with how old I am. I can't remember. I think I'm 39 already. It's a
You're
weird
not.
thing.
You're not
I know,
yet.
I'm
We will-
thankful for
it's
that.
coming.
I know. But 38 years of being called the fat twin, I mean, that's got to really hurt.
Do you think that I've been called the fat twin for? I mean, is this a real thing? Because
I wanted to pull out the competitive nature.
that does hurt my feelings. A little. I can't imagine that.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Right. Broad shoulders.
But we're in 2020.
Yes.
Words are literal violence.
Well, this is the thing. Right now, you are not the fat twin. Right now,
Well,
I am the fat twin.
no, I feel like I'm still fat though. You're just fatter.
Well, now my feelings are a bit. hurt.
Neither of us are on the healthy side of the scale.
Right, but neither of us are really unhealthy either.
Well, that just depends on what your level of
Yes.
obesity
Well,
is.
we're moderately.
I would just like
unhealthy.
I would like to get to the point where the medical doctor society
Uh-huh.
out there that doesn't take anything into effect other than weight and
Right.
height
Right.
would call me overweight as opposed to obese. I would appreciate that. That it would be like I feel like I hit my stride at that point.
Again, I feel like you're letting your feelings get hurt. Obese is definitely a harsh word.
But why?
I don't know because
Is it
we're
kinda
fat-
like the
we're
word-
fat shamed?
Like, is it like the word diarrhea?
I don't
Like
know.
diarrhea is a gross word, but it's specifically the only reason it's gross is because what it means, right?
I don't. My children tell me all the time that I am not fat.
They do. Mine tell me the exact opposite.
My
Mine literally keep me humble. They're
only-
like, Dad, you really think that you should be eating that third donut? I'm like, well, now that you mention it, son, probably not.
Abby is consistently telling me, oh, Dad, you're not fat. Oh, you're fine. And my wife, Micah, is always, Dad, you're not fat. You're fat. You're fine. And they say this. But then
Why-
I have AB.
why have you taught your kids
AB
to lie
comes
to
in,
you?
AB comes in, and I have my shirt off, and he goes, oh, look, a smiley face.
Is your belly button smiling?
Apparently. I tell you, there's nothing more insulting than someone calling your torso a smiley face.
Isaac will walk up to me with when I have my shirt off, and he'll walk up to my belly and he'll grab it and
Yeah.
he'll squeeze it and he'll go squishy, squishy. So, how's that?
Kids are mean.
I know, but I don't think. I mean, he's not doing it to be hateful.
Does he know he's being hateful?
I don't think.
Have you ever said, "Son, that really hurts my feelings"?
No, because
Okay.
I'm rubber and he's glue.
That's right. That boy is glue. And you want to know what the funniest part is? That body's coming for them.
I know. I tell them enjoy it.
Yep.
It's like you
You
know
think you're getting away with it now?
You get a whole bag of Doritos for snack time. Great. Enjoy these years. Enjoy them
Enjoy them
because that Garrison booty is coming.
it's coming for you.
It is genetic,
It is.
and it is my lineage to pass down to the next generation. It's my responsibility. Nay, it is the pride. No, it's actually not very
Well,
pride.
yeah, it's not practical.
pride.
It's not
but
pride,
It's
no.
not something that really helps.
You're gonna get it.
in a lot, but it's really gonna make it hard for you to find jeans.
Well, but see, this is the hard part about it for me. AB is not biologically my son because he's my stepson.
sure.
You know, we're a blended family, so I don't even have that. You know, he's half Mexican. He's got beautiful, like, brown skin and never needs to tan. I mean, big old olive eyes.
Well, I feel like I'm being put in a very difficult
I
place
know.
right
You
now
wanna
because
defend me.
I feel I need to defend your honor.
I understand that. I appreciate that.
but at the same time, it's a child,
It is, and he's my child. You love him.
and he's my nephew.
Yes.
and I love him dearly, but I don't think that he's probably meaning anything mean when he calls your belly a smiley face.
I mean, I think he enjoys it.
At least it's not a sad face. I mean, you'd have to be really droopy in order for it to be a sad face, right?
That's true. I
mean-
I may have been a sad face before, and luckily, through the work and effort, my belly smiles now. So that's good news.
Maybe you get a smiley belly from all the happy plates you've made over the years.
I definitely can make a happy plate. A little too happy. So,
Okay.
Right.
Well,
That was a really funny segment. That was so funny.
so tattletale is the 90s phrase of the day.
I think that one's still used.
It is sometimes, but it was really more of a it
Came to fruition.
came to fruition from the 90s.
Okay.
You want to know how early it was originally used?
How early?
1520.
The year 1520?
1520. It had an
And
uptick.
it just resurfaced in the
started,
90s.
and then it got real popular in the 90s.
That's a multi-generational popularity.
Yeah, that's 300 years. 300 years of gaining in popularity before it peaked.
Do you have a history of tattletale?
So
besides its origin?
tattle came from prattle, or like
Cattle
being dodgy.
or
And saddle.
saddle.
Prattle, tattle, laddle, prattle.
Okay, so what? Tattle came from prattle.
Yes, it was like tattle was to like say something that was gossipy. To tattle was like to gossip or to tell like something that was
Like is
not
it slander kind
yeah,
of?
kind of like wasn't necessarily true.
Okay.
Right. And tail is actually spelled TALE, not TAIL, as you would commonly spell tattletale today. I always thought it was like it was a tattletale, which meant my tail was tattling. Not the case. A
I
tattletale
don't think I ever thought about it that much.
is
I
to
think you're
call
the only one, Luke.
a tattletale. A tattletale is to call or to say somebody is telling a tale
Right.
that is false. A tattletale, a gossipy tale. So when you say tattletale, what you're really doing is accusing the other person of not telling the truth.
Fascinating.
Wow.
So it's not calling somebody. So the whole "don't be such a tattletale."
Right.
That's not That's not the way that you would use that.
Don't be such a tattletale would be don't be such a gossip telling stories. So if a kid gets picked on and goes, or say your brother, say when we were little and you punched me, you slug buggied me.
Well, you needed it.
Yeah, I got a good old slug bug.
I was actually just trying to.
Right.
There was
And I went-
there was a spider on your shoulder, and I was trying to get it off.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I didn't want it
That's not how I took it.
Didn't
though.
want you to bite.
No.
I didn't want it to bite.
And so I went, Mom, Ben hit me, and you said,
Don't be such a
No.
tattletale.
yeah, good. That was good. Like,
sorry.
I don't know what you were doing.
Don't be such a tattletale.
And I said, I'm not a tattletale. That's a gossip telling a story, and my story was truthful.
Then I would have said, I was just trying to get the spider off your arm.
And there is your depiction of what a tattletale actually is.
That's really good. It makes me want to go into a longer segment, but I think we should probably wait.
It's insulting.
I think more adults are tattletales. Knowing the meaning and the origin, I think more adults are tattletales.
Well,
Don't
now you can
think?
use it however you want to, Ashley.
Yeah.
From now on, when you hear somebody
The funny thing is, though, that you'll have to explain it to them every time.
telling a gossipy story, you can say, you're a tattletale.
a tattletale happens to be
From 15.
from 15-something,
1520.
1520, when Francis Tattletale went out into the marketplace and discovered fictional stories.
See, what Ben's doing right now is tattletaling.
Okay, that's
He's
good.
making up a gossip about a tale.
Pretty sure that's what you just told
About
everybody.
Prince Tattletale.
It was about a guy named Frank or something.
I don't think you were listening.
Wow, I really need to cue in better next time.
Cue in.
That's it.
Reviewing podcast.
Eat my sword. Not the mama. Not the mama.
Goodbye.
Wake up. Wake up.